welcome to my channel. My name's Kenosha, and thank you so much for joining me. So this update is for weeks 17 and 18, and I didn't feel like a lot of stuff happened this week or these last couple of weeks, but we'll see what I wrote down because it's been a while. So at the time of filming, I just kind of want to throw this out there. So at the time of filming, I am currently 19 weeks and 3 days, I think, because it's Tuesday. So yeah, so I'm 2 days, so 19 weeks and 2 days pregnant. So when you see my baby bump, that'll be my 19-week baby bump. But so I just wanted to throw that out there really quick. So let's just start this off right away. So for 17 weeks, I'm going to take a look and see what Baby Center said about how big baby was and what was going on with the baby. So at 17 weeks pregnant, the baby was about the size of a turnip. So that was about 5 inches in length and about 5 ounces in weight. Something that is important to note is that during this week, baby skeleton was changing from soft cartilage to bone. And I feel like I definitely felt that change happening. And I'll talk more about that during my update. And it says the umbilical cord is growing stronger and thicker. So the placenta is, taking on all of the responsibility for keeping the baby healthy and thriving. And that's really all that it says for what was going on with baby at this stage. So what was going on with me at 17 weeks? So 17 weeks one day, because during the 16th week of my pregnancy is when I had my prenatal appointment with my midwife. So 17 weeks one day is when I officially scheduled my anatomy scan for 22 weeks and 4 days. So that'll be happening on July 23rd, which seems like forever from now. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm just anxious for that, to get that going and to see the baby for the very first time. So that'll be really fun, and I cannot wait to share that update when that happens. But it's been scheduled, it's on the books, so that is happening. So something that kind of changed during week 17, and I definitely am still feeling it now, and I felt it during 18 weeks, was that I've been getting very tired by the end of the day. So that just started this week. So, obviously I had first trimester fatigue and everything like that, but then I had a little break and I was starting to feel really good. But during 17 weeks is when I just felt like my whole body was just so heavy with exhaustion. And then I'd be falling asleep watching TV with my husband at night, and sometimes I was opting not even to watch TV with him because I just felt exhausted. So 17 weeks, 2 days is when I started doing my Beachbody on demand workout again. So I don't know if you guys remember from my very, very first update, I was doing Morning Meltdown 100, and I highly recommend that, pregnant or not. I've had to do a lot more modifications now that I'm pregnant and now that my belly is pretty big. But I feel really good, and my body just feels like I feel a lot less joint pain throughout the day and in the overnight when I'm sleeping. So that has definitely helped me. So I just made a note that I picked off where I left off from my first trimester when I was working out. So I started on day 49 because that's where I had left off. So I made it pretty much halfway through the program. So my goal is to finish the second half of the program before this baby comes. And I calculated today that if I consistently work out for the next several weeks, I should be done by the time I'm 28 weeks pregnant. So then hopefully I'll be able to move on to a new program, but we'll see how I'm feeling at that point. At 17 weeks, 3 days pregnant, I kind of wrote down a lot of stuff. So I remember waking up that morning and I just had a lot of bloody, dry bloody mucus in my nose, and it was just just annoying. And then I had I mean, I just wrote that my nipple soreness continued. So like I have not had a break from my nipple soreness. So like even the slightest touch from like when my baby boy, well, he's not a baby anymore, he's 2, but when my son is snuggling with me and just like brushing up against my nipple, I'm just like, oh my gosh, okay, that hurts. So that has just been something that has continued, and it's just very uncomfortable. So I also wrote down that I was exhausted in the PM after work, but I did work out that day. And I also wrote down that baby was really, really active that night on 17 weeks, 3 days. 17 weeks, 4 days, I woke up with a bloody nose that morning. So this time, instead of the dry mucus that I usually have been having this pregnancy, I woke up with an actual like dripping, like bloody nose. So I've just been having like a lot of congestion in my nose and a lot of bloody noses. So that has been something that I didn't really have in my other pregnancies, I feel like. So I just feel like the congestion was something that I didn't really have in my other pregnancies, and that's something that I've been having like every night since the first trimester. Like my nose is just constantly stuffy. It's not uncomfortably stuffy, I can still breathe, but it's just, you know, I'm like constantly like sniffling. And then the bloody noses. So let's see. Oh yeah, and then this morning was the morning that I woke up feeling extremely exhausted because I had a nightmare that night where I had a dream that I lost my son, and so obviously I couldn't go back to sleep at that point because it was still dark. I remember when I woke up from that dream and I just couldn't go back to sleep. And then when I was awake and just laying there with anxiety about losing one of my children, I felt the baby kicking. So that was kind of like a sweet moment because the baby, like just feeling the baby kicking in my belly just like kind of gave me peace and everything, just to like let me know that you had a bad dream, but you're fine now. And so that was kind of fun. And then also I couldn't sleep because of that too, because I just wanted to feel the baby as long as possible. So yeah, so pretty much like because of all of that happening, I just woke up feeling really rough that morning, and I just kind of started my day off rough. But then also on this day, which is really exciting and what I wanted to talk about, because in that baby center update, it said that the baby's soft cartilage was turning into hard bone. So this day, so 17 weeks, 4 days pregnant, was the first time that I was able to see the baby kick from the outside, and the first time that someone other than myself was able to feel the baby kicking. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's 6.5. She's been really into this pregnancy and has been like waiting for the baby to move and stuff like that. So I called her up when I saw it, and I was so happy that she put her hand right on my belly, and she's like, oh, I felt that, like, and it was just the cutest thing. So she was the first one to feel the baby kicking, so that was cute. But that was just really exciting that, you know, that was the first day that, you know, I was able to see life from the outside, like so cool. And that's really all that I had for 17 weeks. So 18 weeks pregnant, let's see how big baby was. So at 18 weeks, baby was the size of a bell pepper, so 5.5 inches in length and 6 3/4 ounces. So what was happening with baby? So baby's ears are now in their final position, but they're still standing out from the head a little bit. The smallest tubes of the lungs, which is the bronchioles, are starting to develop at the tips of the branches. So, you know, baby's just, you know, working on getting that lung function up and circulating oxygenated blood through the organs and the tissues of the body, which is pretty exciting. And then it also says that if you're having a girl, her uterus and fallopian tubes are formed and in place. And if you're having a boy, his genitals are noticeable now, but he may hide them from your ultrasound. So that is kind of the high level of what was going on with baby's development at that point. So 18 weeks for me, I didn't write a whole lot down because we were on vacation during this week. So Sunday and Monday we weren't on vacation. So I kind of just wrote down that I was having dizziness and lightheadedness, so primarily after getting up. So a lot of times when I get up pretty quickly, and even if I don't get up quickly, if I just get up at all, like I'll just have like a moment of where, you know, your vision kind of like you start getting that tunnel vision, or things start turning black. So I've just been very careful not to like move around too much when that happens. But that's been happening, but I know it's normal, so I'm not really too worried about it. And I've also been experiencing some headaches during week 18. So like I said, during week 18, so when I was 18 weeks, 2 days pregnant through 18 weeks, 5 days pregnant, we went on a small family vacation. We went to Michigan. We live in Illinois, so we drove a couple of hours north to Michigan to visit Lake Michigan. We went to Oval Beach, which was so awesome, and it was really fun for the kids to be able to experience the beach and just, you know, play in the sand for a couple of hours. So during that vacation, I felt pretty good most of the time, but I did have a lot of fatigue and exhaustion, which, you know, when you're out of your regular routine and you're busy being a tourist and everything, like it's exhausting, like pregnant or not. So I was definitely feeling that. I did experience a couple of days of constipation while on that trip, which I feel like is also normal when you're out of your routine. You know, your body just doesn't want to do what it typically does, because I will note that I have had no constipation at all this pregnancy so far, but I feel like that usually happens to me later on in my pregnancy, so we'll see. But I'm hoping that I can keep this good thing going, because yeah, that's not a fun symptom. So and then I was experiencing some backaches, well, because, you know, pregnancy, so nothing too crazy there. And I did also note that while on vacation, I wasn't working out, so I took a couple days break from working out. But then when we came home, Saturday is when I started up my morning Meltdown 100 again. So, and I've been doing that every day since then. So, and I also wanted to note that by this time in my pregnancy, so the later part of my 18 weeks, I was up 7.4 pounds from the lowest weight that I had reached in my first trimester. So I haven't reached, even now as I'm filming this, I haven't reached my pre-pregnancy weight, which is fine, because in my opinion, I was too heavy anyway. So I had lost 8 pounds during my first trimester because of nausea and vomiting. So at 18 weeks and 6 days, I guess, I was up 7.4 pounds from the lowest weight that I had gotten down to. So, I mean, that's just really good. You know, I'm moving in the right direction, and I feel like I'm gaining a little bit over a pound per week. So yeah, all is going well. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, I feel like I'm at the point of pregnancy where it's pretty boring and it's pretty steady, smooth sailing at this point. So, I mean, if anything crazy happens, and obviously, so, I mean, something exciting coming up is my anatomy scan. So I'll definitely probably have a longer, maybe be a separate update specifically for that. And then, yeah, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll start talking about my labor and delivery plans and my birth plan and all that fun stuff. But for now, that's really all I had. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next update, which will be for weeks 19 and 20. And wow, already halfway through this pregnancy. That is so crazy. I feel like once you really get going, especially after you get over the hump of crappy first trimester, I just feel like it flies by. But anyway, let me show you this baby bump, because I feel like I am much bigger than I was the last time I showed you. And then you guys take care, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye.